You're now tuning into
The Cover Gang.
What is going on, Cover Gang? It is NFL Week 14. Some of you probably are that tune in regularly are like, why haven't they dropped a recap video? No, it's not just because we done horrible last week. My first week under 500, by far our worst week all year. 4-8-1, Justin.
Yeah,
But no, the reason we didn't record the recap video is because Justin has been under covers with the chills, the aches, COVID, flu, everything at once. Dude's just been sick as can be for the past 4 or 5 days. His bankroll didn't help him out.
yeah.
So.
I'll be honest. I didn't even watch football, and I think I called you like Monday, and I'm like, "How did we do, man?" And you're just like, "Not good." And I'm like, "Oh no." But
Yeah, I started in a few group chats, a GoFundMe, because I was like, this dude needs some meds. I know he's down bad with the beds that he placed. So,
yeah. I raw dogged it this time too. I didn't even go to the doctor, but last few times I went to the doctor, they tell you they're like, "There's nothing we can do for you." So I feel like it was gonna be
it'll run its course.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm gonna just wait this one out. But I'll be honest, it's one of the worst sicknesses I've had in the past few years. Pretty much just as bad as the last time I had COVID, which was like 2 years ago. But I think it could have been COVID. I don't really know for sure. It was some kind of virus, but it was nasty, man. Flu, aches, chills, coughs, sneezing, sore throat, you name it. Just all of it. Just out for the count. But yeah, today's like the first day that I feel somewhat normal, so I'm kind of ready to get back into the swing of things. 4-8-1 though, we got some work to do here.
Yes. Speaking of things that are just going crazy, the public the past 2 weeks, or the favorites, went 20-9 against the spread in the past 2 weeks. Justin, he was hoping to bounce back. He didn't have the best week 2 weeks ago, and then last week before we got on air, we was like, look, we're going to take all underdogs except for one because we thought the firing in Carolina wasn't the issue. We just thought they didn't have offensive weapons, couldn't keep up with Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay. And, of course, that was one of the only underdogs that did hit.
Right.
So the only favorite we took did not hit.
It's remarkable. It's unprecedented what favorites are doing right now. So just enjoy it. If you're a big favorite bettor right now, you're banking it up. But I don't know. It's not always that's not always the case, especially in NFL. It's a underdog heavy kind of league usually.
Yeah, well, against the spread, 100%. But I don't know what much to make of it. There's only a few I told you so's. I did tell you so about. I went 1 and 2 on my double unit plays, but the one I did hit was the Packers. I said they were on a 2-week heater. I think that will carry over into Lambeau against Kansas City. I called them winning outright, and that happened. But as I lost money all throughout the day, I didn't even watch that game. I'm a sore loser when it comes to this type of stuff. So I was in bed by 8 o'clock, not watching football, watching something totally different because I got torched.
You a sore loser, man? Who would have guessed that? I don't know. You sure?
Yeah, well, I try to give props where it's due, but I don't know what's going on the past 2 weeks. But are we going to jump ship, or are we going to ride this new public wave? We will see.
I'm just gonna pick who I think is the right spread. I don't know. I'm not gonna stick to one side or the other. The last 2 weeks, I've taken a stand and taken mostly dogs, and that has just killed me. So I'm gonna just try to pick the right side. That's it. But yeah,
right. Well, we have not discussed much off air on who we are on, so I'm intrigued to see. But since we didn't do the recap video, we were recording Wednesday. We're going to do all of the 1 o'clock games, but we'll also do the Thursday night game tomorrow. We're going to do it right now, but the game's tomorrow. We'll go over that spread, see who we're on. And then in our second video will be all of the 4 o'clock games, primetime games. The only games we got right last week other than the Cardinals was the night game. So maybe we're going some type of success with that. Who knows? We're just looking for anything at this point after last week.
Yeah,
but sure. Without further ado, Justin will read off the spreads. We'll see if we agree. We'll tell you how much we're putting on each game as far as unit size, and let it roll.
All right. First up, Thursday night football. We got the Patriots at the Steelers with disgustingly low total of 30. This got to be the lowest one of this year. This one's going to be a doozy. These teams, both of these teams, cannot score at all. Let's look at the last 3 games the Patriots have played. They have 0 points one game, 7, and then 6. So that's 13 in the last 3 games. And the Steelers have had 10, 16, and 10. So, I mean, the last 3 games combined for both these teams, it barely goes over the total of 30. So I see why it's so low. But, yeah, looks like it's going to be Mitch Trubisky and I guess Mac Jones and just a
No,
whole
Bailey Zappi's got the start.
Bailey Zappi. Okay. Yeah, I'll lean Patriots here, regular unit, because it should be a grinded out, ugly game, and I'm just playing the number. Look, the Steelers have been one of the luckiest teams for a while now, and they still are. It's just the Patriots, they can't score, but neither. I don't see the Steelers scoring much in this game at all, especially in prime time. It always goes under usually, so yeah, I like Patriots +6, regular unit.
Yeah, if you are a square, if you bet these public favorites, this is a good Thursday night to maybe take your significant other out for a nice dinner, go catch a movie, catch up on some series you've been watching. I think that if anything, I'll be going around looking at Christmas lights because I've been getting torched as of last week, as we just said. But yeah, horrible game to watch. The over under, I think, is set at 30 points. I don't know if you just said that, but I think that's the lowest since like 2007. These Thursday night unders have been hitting anyways, but 30 points is just crazy. But yeah, you got to take the points in that situation, even though it kind of looks like the Patriots are hoping to lose at this point to get one of these top quarterbacks in the draft going into next year. Belichick, obviously, on the hot seat. Kenny Pickett to Mitch Trubisky. I don't know how much of a downgrade that honestly is, but like you said, just 2 bad offenses going at each other, 2 good defenses. I just hope that TJ Watt doesn't wreak too much havoc, and a defensive touchdown is what ruins this play, because I do not believe in a backdoor cover whatsoever with this Patriot team. So I'll ride with it, regular unit play, because I do think it's going to be, like you said, just an ugly game, really low scoring, and 6 just too much.
All right, first up in the 1 o'clock slate, we got the Texans at the Jets. This one opened at 6, and sharp money has taken the Jets from 6 all the way down to 4 and 3.5 on some books. This
6.5, bro.
Yeah.
Yesterday it was at 6.5.
And it's going to be Zach Wilson in this one, but we know that's not what moved the line. It's got all the makings of what we normally would take any regular year that, with not all these road favorites covering and all this wonkiness that's going on, we would take the Jets here, even after the line movement. But, yeah, I mean, down here at 3.5, it's hard to imagine how we don't bet the Texans, because this Jets team, they cannot score. Even if it is the sharp line movement, it is the good defense that you can lean on at home. It's just hard to see a world where they can put up points after what we've seen. But
yeah, CJ Stroud, obviously he's playing really good. That was a good game. I was on the Denver side, and it hit. I had it at 3.5, I believe. Came down to the wire. It was a pretty good game to watch. But CJ, Carolina's only, the Panthers, the only win they have was when CJ Stroud was on the road going to Carolina. They did win that game. The Panthers did, but that seems like it was a long, long time ago. CJ Stroud, it's every week we look for him to go through some growing pains, and he doesn't. And for it to be at 6.5 and drop all the way down to 3.5, I get the professionals coming in on the Jets. At 6.5, I was getting on here, putting stake in the ground, saying, hey, I don't care, Zach Wilson, whoever, take the Jets here. It's just, they're baiting you in. But I don't understand the 3-point, watch drop down to 3 points. Now Texans only favored by 3.5. Zach Wilson has been reported that he said that he didn't even want to play. But I guess he got talked into it. Tim Boyle got let go. Should have never been signed in the first place, like I said. Just not what you want to hear out of the Jets whatsoever. losing last week to the Falcons, putting up 0 points in the second half. That's just it has to be demoralizing at home. And then you got the guy who's leading the league in passing yards coming in,
Right.
and it's literally Zach Wilson versus this Texans defense because, as you've seen against Denver last week, a team that is better at running the ball than the Jets, they stopped the run. So Zach Wilson, Garrett Wilson, Lazard, like, are you betting on them at 3.5? I'm not. I'm taking the Texans. It's half unit play because I still feel like I'm being baited in, but it's been so weird these past 2 weeks. I wouldn't be surprised Texans cover here. I mark it as a gambler. I mark it up as almost a loss in my mind because it is, this everybody in the world at 3.5 should take Texans. But I just don't get the 3-point line movement within the past 24 hours. Just naming Zach Wilson as the starting quarterback, he's not worth 3 points in my mind whatsoever. So yeah, half unit Texans minus 3.5.
Yeah, I'm taking it at a half unit as well. At this low, if I was taking the Jets, I'd probably take a half unit as well because it's just not the value is gone, like, pretty much.
Yeah, gross line, gross game.
All right, next up we got the Bucks at the Falcons. NFC South divisional battle for the first place. This is the worst division in football by far. The line
Again.
Yep, and the line is set at 2.5, and it was there for a while, but just a couple hours ago when I was taking notes, it jumped down to 1. So I was on the Bucks initially, and now I'm stumped. So what's your take on this one?
Yeah, I was going to take Atlanta even at the 2.5. I have not put any money on this game so far this week, and I'm glad because it's went down to 1. As soon as we get off here, I'll probably load up on Atlanta -1 just in case some sharps come in and buy the Bucks here. Desmond Ridder, he got away with one last week. He played the Jets. They put up 13 points, and apparently that's enough. He's not the same on the road as he is at home, but when he plays at home, he's played pretty decent. Bucks defense has not been like they have in years past as far as stopping the run. Algier, and they still got Algier, but Bijan Robinson's been a vocal point in the offense a lot more the past few weeks. Arthur Smith, I guess, heard the media saying, like, why are you not using Bijan? He's stepped it up, and yeah, I think this is Atlanta's division to lose at this point. Saints down Derek Carr, he's in concussion protocol, horrible head coach. Panthers, worst team in the NFL, and then this Bucks team that just can't win close games, and seem to be kind of who we thought they were going to be going into the year. So yeah, regular unit play, divisional game. I imagine it comes down close to the end of the game, end of the fourth quarter. But I'm gonna ride with Arthur Smith in this offense at home just to cover the 1 point.
All right, yeah. I'll let you bear all the responsibility for this one, so I'll take the Falcons with you. I mean, I get it because down at 1, it really seems like the line might jump back up, so it's probably the value side. I see some money back in the Falcons down here at -1 at home, and like you said, I agree that it is their division to lose. They look far and away the best team, the most complete team, so give us the Falcons -1 to stay in the lead in that division.
Yeah, Ritter just needs to take care of the football in this one. I think they got it.
All right, next up, we got the Lions at the Bears. So this one was at 5.5, and it's bet down to 3.5 with some juice, and then most books have it at 3 now. So a lot of sharps like the Bears early. The Bears have looked a lot better recently, and meanwhile, the Lions look pretty vulnerable. They're not the same team at the beginning of the season. I think that's the reason you take the Bears in this one, the way they've been playing. Even in that first matchup, they should have won. Jared Goff had that nice comeback, but it's supposed to be a really bad weather game, and with Justin Fields and that run-heavy offense and the Bears, I think it kind of favors their game style. And Goff, there was that trend that he was better indoors, so maybe that comes back into effect in this one. Yeah, I'll take the Bears. Can we still get the 3.5 even with the juice? Or
Yeah, you can get the hook.
All right, yeah, I'll take that, definitely, a regular unit.
Yeah, this is double unit play for me. I'm taking Bears plus 3.5. Wish we could have recorded a day earlier or something because the sharps definitely got the best of this number. Like you said, it opened up at 5.5, and it's made its way all the way down to 3.5. And that's only on a couple books. Most places it's only 3. So I think anybody gets on there, they take the lines here blindly. But like you said, it's supposed to be horrible weather. They're projecting it to be rainy, very windy game. Detroit does have a good offensive line. Bears over the past four or 5 weeks has really stepped it up as far as stopping the run. And yeah, Jared Goff, he's had his woes here lately, and historically he is not the best outdoors. But I think this just comes down that the Bears played the Lions a couple weeks ago, and they played them well. And yeah, Jared Goff turned the ball over a few times. Lions escaped with a win at home, but good luck taking care of the ball in this type of weather. So, yeah, double unit play giving me the hook. I see it being a low scoring game, and I think Bears have a chance to win this one outright.
I like it. I like it. All right, next up we got the
Justin
Colts.
Field, one more point on that one. Justin Fields still every game matters. So
Oh yeah,
still playing for his career, playing for his job out there.
for sure. Yeah, he's counting his days. All right, next up we got the Colts at the Bengals. So I double united the Bengals last week, and I was not expecting Jake Browning
win.
to have that kind of game he did, completing like 90% of his passes with like 300 yards, and Mixon having a insane day, and Jamar Chase doing the gritty. I wasn't expecting all that, but I did like that play a lot. But I'm going back to the well here. Let's take this opportunity to fade the Colts, who have been one of the luckiest teams in one-score games, and their record is just it's just way better than it should be. I could see it flipped for sure. This team is good. They got good coaching. They play hard in tight games, but they've just been extremely lucky in some turnover situations and overtime games. Lots of overtime games for the Colts. But yeah, I like the Bengals plus 1.5 here at home at a double unit. I think that even without Joe Burrow, I'm not thinking that Jake Browning has a performance that can, you know, be compared to what he just did against the Jaguars, but I don't think he needs to. Joe Mixon, they've kind of designed this offense a little bit around having a backup quarterback in play. So I think just getting the ball into all these playmakers' hands will be the difference maker. And really, it's just fading the Colts at this point. So I like it at a double unit. The Colts are due to lose right here.
Is it still recording?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, it like flashed on the bottom of my screen, so I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, I'm with you on taking the Bengals right here. I feel like it's kind of catching a high on both sides. Bengals upset Jacksonville on Monday night. Hate to see what happened to Trevor Lawrence late in that game. And Colts, it's just been a Cinderella story all year. I do like the addition of Shane Steichen, but Jonathan Taylor in and out. They shipped Shaq Leonard off. It's not like they really have guys. Anthony Richardson, first few games, I don't think he made it through a single game without being taken off the field. And it's just been mustache Gardner Minshew. But they score on everybody. Like, it doesn't matter. I think if Indianapolis played San Francisco, they put up 20 plus points. I don't know how they do it, but they put up points no matter where they go.
Yeah,
but
you're right.
last week, yeah, it was they get blocked 2 punts, took the punter out. Titans missed that extra point. I mean, they were outplayed by the Titans that whole time. I had the Titans in both of my pick'ems, had a good amount on them. Just really, really bad beat. And yeah, they're lucky, but I'm gonna ride with you. I'm gonna take the home team in the Bengals. I do think that they are better on both sides of the football. I don't think you're gonna need Browning to do what he done Monday night to win this game. I think you can hand it off to Mixon, do some screen passes to Jamar, and beat this Colts team. But yeah, with Jonathan Taylor still out, Gardner Minshew, I just feel like the Cinderella story has to stop at some point, and I feel like a lot of people's going to come in on the Colts here, so I'll fade that and I'll take it at a regular unit play plus 1.5 at home.
Yep, for sure. Next up, we got the Rams at the Ravens. So this is it's a pretty important match, I guess, for both teams. But Rams are getting 7.5 on the road visiting the Ravens. So I'm gonna just play the number here. I mean, it seems like pretty obvious that the Ravens are definitely the better team, one of the best teams in the league still. But Matt Stafford and Kyron Williams in this offense is as good as any quarterback running back duo right now, and I like the value in the hook. I mean, the Ravens are usually not that great at covering as huge favorites, so I think that this is a good spot to take the Rams plus 7.5. What's your take on this one?
Yeah, no, I'm not with you here. I'm taking Baltimore -7 at home. You can get 7 across most sports books. The Rams, they have been playing really good ball, I understand, but Ravens here coming off a bye, good head coach, good defense, rested up. And our last time we seen Lamar and company, they only put up 20 points against a bad bad Chargers defense on the road. So I think that's kind of lingering in most people's minds. But uh, other than the 49ers, I think the Ravens have been the most dominant team throughout the year, throughout this NFL season. So I think they show that here against what is still a Rams team that's playing a little bit over their head. Nakua, I don't know how he came back into the game. I seen that hit out of bounds, landed right on his shoulder. I was like, oh, that's a broken collarbone. And then some time passed, and then he was back out on the field. He's questionable for this week. It was a hard, nasty looking hit. But yeah, since that running backs came back, they've looked like a different offense. But they still struggle at the offensive line position. The Ravens, they are really good at dialing up pressure, and that safety they drafted last year from Notre Dame, I think his name's Kyle Hamilton. They'll have him, playing single high sometimes, and then they'll drop him down just like right up next to the line. So you never know what he's going to do. He's kind of a wild card out there. But yeah, I think that people are seeing this Rams ride, and when you open it up, you're like, oh, I'm catching over a touchdown. Like, it seems kind of like a public dog here to me. So I'll take Ravens -7 at home and regular unit play.
Yeah, I could see that. This is one where I kind of feel like the Rams have done good as short dogs or like short favorites, but when they're a huge dog, they haven't done so well. So I kind of had that feeling with this game. But yeah, I'll stick with the Rams.
Like when they played Dallas in Dallas. Like they play, Dallas has been routing a bunch of very bad teams. The Rams are a middle of the pack team. They have a competent quarterback, but I could see this one getting away from the Rams early, and me giving up 7 points. There's always that option for a backdoor cover, which sucks. But I'm like I said, I think that this is going to be a statement game with Kansas City struggling. Trevor Lawrence just got hurt. Buffalo, maybe they make the playoffs, maybe they don't. I think that the Ravens come out and show that they were the best team in the AFC in this one, off a bye.
All right, next up, we got the Panthers at the Saints. So the Panthers kept it close last week and gave us that bad beat against the Bucs. And the Saints, well, they are the Saints still, and they don't cover by half a point. Initially, when I looked at this game, I'm like, right away, I hate the Saints. I'm taking the Panthers. But I don't know. I think I'm going to take the Saints here to put up some points and blow out this Panthers team who's been absolutely atrocious on the road. And Saints have been really unlucky. As much as I hate them, they're one of the unluckiest teams as far as how the games have went. So to me, this comes down to the Panthers' inability to score. And the Saints usually can put up some points, so I think they need to get right here. And they've lost their last 3 games, and if they win this, they can be tied in their division and keep the playoff hopes alive. So I see a 4.5 out there, and I'll take that and I think the Saints win this one by like a touchdown. So I'll take it at like a 1.5 units.
Yeah, I disagree with you here too. The lines on this one vary per sports book. You can still get the sharps grab the Panthers at 6.5. You can still get a 5.5 on a couple sports books out there. So that's where I'm leaning. Yeah, it's not pretty what the Panthers do, but I can't take Dennis Allen in a divisional game giving up 5.5 points. That's just the way I look. And Derek Carr, even though he hasn't been great this year, I don't think Jameis is an upgrade they're still a lot of their weapons are still banged up on the offensive side of the ball, and Lattimore I think is still out. Jordan, the defensive end, he's been battling an injury the past couple weeks, and like you said, they just look. They got down so early in that Detroit game, came back, had multiple chances to win at the end, and they just can't. They're just a bad coach team. The Saints and Chargers are, it kind of just feels like wasted years on both sides. So I just think they're laying too much here. I know Panthers are bad, and I try to fade them as much as I can here lately. But in a divisional game, I'll take half unit Panthers plus 5.5.
It's crazy to think that like the Saints were pegged to have like the easiest schedule that at the beginning of the season that anyone's ever seen in the past like decade, but they still didn't do anything with it. They're
5-7 right now.
such a terrible team. I hate that team, but hey,
Terribly coached team.
I'm just picking the spot. I think at this point I would like to see someone other than Derek Carr. He just gets on my nerves with making terrible interceptions at the wrong time, and we'll see Jameis. He'll fire him up, even though he's corny and kind of cringy. We'll see what happens.
That'll probably be the best part of this game is Jameis's pregame speech to the team. That'll be what I'm looking forward to the most.
He might be cornier than Russell Wilson. That's pretty hard to do. So, all right. Next up, we got the Vikings at the Raiders. I don't really have much notes on this one because I don't see a huge edge in this game. The line is set at 3. I think it's pretty accurate. The Raiders have been decent at home, and the Vikings have cooled off as of recent. If I don't really have much to go off, I think I'll take the Raiders here as +3 dogs. There's not much reason why. I'm just playing the number. Their defense is pretty solid, and they're somewhat lucky. And the Vikings, they're definitely the better team, but I don't know. I'm just going to play the Raiders +3 because I like them at home.
Yeah, both of these teams are coming off a bye. So I don't know. The way I look at it is just coaching, interim coach versus Kevin O'Connell, which I'm getting the better team. I'm only having to lay 3, so I am taking Minnesota here. Dobbs, the game before the bye, I can't remember who they played, but he looked really bad. I'm expecting a little bit of a bounce back from him. They do get Justin Jefferson. He's finally cleared, active, upgraded out of IR, everything. He is playing. And with Devontae Adams on the other sideline, I think he tries to show the NFL that like he's back. So I only having to lay 3 here. I think Vegas hit the number right on the head in this one. It's kind of make or break as far as playoff scenarios for both these teams. It's a very pivotal game, but I'll take the better team. I'll take the better coach, and I don't like laying 3 on the road, but apparently that's the trend this year is that these road favorites win. But yeah, it's only a half unit. It's nothing I feel great about because I think Vegas nailed the number.
Yeah, it's like now 55 or 56% against the spread is away favorites. So yeah, that's the way this the second half of the season has been going. Because honestly, like the beginning of the season, we were consistently like sticking to the strat, and everything was going according to plan. But yeah, as of recent, these road favorites. But yeah, that's it for the 1 o'clock slate. So thanks for tuning in. Make sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed the content. Hopefully we have a good bounce back week in week 14. I'm glad to finally be feeling better. So I hope to watch some football and actually give you guys a recap this coming Monday. So tune in for that, and we'll see who the better week 14 is. But thanks for tuning in. Watch the primetime video, and let's cover the spread. Peace.
Peace.